welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Well, good evening, everyone. How are you this evening? We are back for session 2 of Your Wealth Lives Within. I am Luckisha Townsend. I am your author for this half hour. Earlier I introduced myself. We kind of talked about a little bit things. Some people commented, had some questions. That was awesome. So we're going to go ahead and start out. Like I said, we're going to go through the book by chapters. And so the chapter that we're going to do now is how you do one thing is to how you do everything. So we are creatures of habit. We are. And we like comfort. We don't like change a lot. And so usually when you do something one way, you usually do it that way for everything else. And so because of that, that can create, a situation where we when it comes to our finances, we get out of hand. We get the spending, we stress spend. I've done it. Stress spend. Or we see something that somebody else had, we gotta have it, we gotta have it right then. And then sometimes we're taken by something and we'll get it, and then we're like, why did we buy that? And so we find out that is how we do a lot of things in our life. So that's one of the things that I want you to investigate is see if the way you do one thing is the way you do everything else. Okay. And, it won't look the same, but there's the pattern is the same. So I want you to definitely put that in the back of your mind, especially when it comes to that next spend, you might be tempted to spend. Or like if you want to, get something you see somebody else has. Remember, we're not here to try and keep up with everybody else. Remember, someone else's success, doesn't negate that we don't have success. Okay, so I'm going to kind of, talk about a few things that is related to the chapters in each book. So the first one would be financial habits reflecting in the way we work. Okay, so scenario, if someone is meticulous in managing their finances, it may translate into organization of their work, their tasks, their schedule. Okay, so you see a pattern there. So the way you are at work could could mean that you are you have a budget, you balance your checkbook, you pay your bills, you're putting away money. But then, if you feel like, if you notice that, your office is cluttered, your room is cluttered and stuff like that, that usually is an expression of what's going on in your life. Okay. And so that can also spill over into our finances. We get our money as soon as we get it, basically, and allotted it here, there, and everywhere. And then when we get to looking at our bank book, there's no money there, and we don't know why. Well, how did I run out of money so fast? Because we have already programmed in our mind ahead of time what we're spending on before we even have it. A lot of people have their money spent before the paycheck is even in their bank account. So that's why having a budget, especially getting some help like a financial coach, can help you see those patterns that you're doing and then recognize. It's just like we talk about when we go to a counselor. Triggers. What are those triggers that get you to spend money unnecessarily? Um, so we need to be conscious of those things. We need to really dig deep and see why am I doing these things. Is there something I'm stressed out about something? um, am I worried about something? A lot of people believe that they don't deserve. I mean, and it's subconscious. They don't realize it. They don't say it out their mouth, but it's subconscious. They feel like they don't deserve the money. So that's why as soon as they get money in their hand, they got to spend it. And that's why, like within 3 to 5 years of somebody, like who wins the lottery, they're usually broke again. Because I mean, if they weren't, good stewards over that little money that they had before they got those millions, that's not going to negate them to say that they're going to, now all of a sudden there's going to be this great steward over their money because they got a whole lot of money. And then, one of the other sayings is that if I had more money, then I can do this. Nope. If you're not a good steward over what you have now, that's why, in the Bible, it says, if you're a good steward over, especially over another man's, or, just over the little that God has given you, he's not going to let you be ruler over much. But if you are a good steward, then he can trust you, then he'll give you more. And so it's the same with, our finances. It doesn't matter if we get more money. If we're not good stewards, the more money we get, the more money we spend. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you are aware of that and have experienced that. Okay, like influence on your upbringing, stress management. I was kind of mentioning a little bit of a bit of that already. Like someone raised in an environment where money was constant source of stress, meaning that you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Um, you're of course spending above your means, or even you're just not making enough, you know, to make ends meet. That's stressful, and that can be stress in the household, especially it's stressful in marriages. A lot of marriages, end because of finances. And then a lot of people don't like to discuss, like when you get in relationships um, with each other, some of the things that you should know about is, what is the person's credit score? I mean, it's real, because I mean, this, you're going into a partnership with somebody that you're planning on it being, for the rest of your life. You need to know these things. You need to know how each other, handle money. So if there's always going to be probably one that's a spender, one that's a saver, or either you might have traits of both, but one is more dominant than the other. You need to know those things. So that way you can say, hey, yeah, maybe you should handle the finances. But remember, don't just put it all on that person. Like, okay, they doing good with the finances. I'm just gonna sit back here and and just enjoy the ride. No, you need to know what's going on, because what happens if something, they get sick, or God forbid, they pass away, and you have no clue of what's going on. So that's why it's important to not sit in the sidelines. Acknowledge that that person, yes, is better at handling the money than you are, but you still need to know. I always say one of the things that I always like that Oprah said, is that you always sign the checks. I mean, you may have somebody, managing your money and all that kind of stuff, but you should be, signing those checks, and you need to know where that money is going at all times. All right. All right. Behavior patterns and decision making. Okay. Scenario. Okay. Suggests that handling money extends to decision making in various life areas. Okay. Example: if someone tends to be a procrastinator, I talked about that a little bit earlier. In financial matters, they may also delay decisions on other aspects of their life. So remember how I told you how you do one thing is the way you do everything. And so, yep. So if like, oh gosh, you got a bill coming up next Wednesday. All right. And here it is, it's Monday. And you still haven't, did anything about it. And so because of that stress, do you have enough? What are you going to do if you don't have enough? So one of the things that we do not like to do is to talk to our creditors. I mean, a lot of people, we don't want to do it. People think that if I don't say anything, it ain't happening. And so that's why it's very important to have a relationship, because a lot of times they will work with you, and then some of them, some people don't even know that they have like a grace period on their bills or on their credit cards and stuff like that, because they don't have that relationship with their creditors. It's very important especially when times get tough. You're going to need that relationship so that they'll work with you, and and they won't cut off your electric or whatever the situation might be. Again, we were talking about um, your wealth lives within. The QR code is up in the corner there. You can just put your phone up there and click on it, and it'll take you right to Amazon, where you can purchase it. All right. So y'all can go ahead and do that. That would be awesome. All right. So we're going to move on. All right. Now we're going to talk about organization skills. All right. In the chapter, we talk about your organizing and managing finances. Okay, this trait often reflects in your overall organization approach to tasks and responsibilities. All right, so to give you an example of that, is that if you are if you sit down and at once a month, put your bills down, and and put your debts and your income down, and see where everything's going, you can stay organized. Somebody's asking a question: is it possible that your husband may have hidden wealth and you just learn it after he dies? I don't know if you're asking that to me or because I don't, or if you would mean it in general. Okay, so I'm not sure if you want to, maybe put that question back up again. Because I read it, but it didn't, how it didn't twirl in the brain to to calculate what you were meaning. If I kind of think about it, you were saying like, okay, could if your husband passed and you maybe inherit some finances, okay, or something like that, maybe, is that what you were meaning? um I'm not sure, but um I'll go back, and once the live is over with, and I'll reread it again, and then maybe comment. Okay, we got another question. What is your advice to someone who's afraid of risking, example, when starting oh, yes. The thing is that the only thing that beats a failure is a try. Okay, so if you never try, you'll never know. Okay, you want to definitely look into what industry, what industry you're trying to go into. Okay, and remember, yeah, it's a risk. Everything, of course, is a risk. But I mean, if you're passionate about it, and it's something that you really know that can be an answer. Remember, if when we go into business, we have to remember that we are creating solutions to other people's problems. So just like with me being a financial coach, you know, this is creating a solution for someone, that, has a problem. So, they're not good with their finances. So I'll come in and I'm not going to do it for them. No, but I'm going to pull it out of them because it's in you. You know what I mean? You just don't believe that it's in you. And so with starting a business, like I've started a business. This would be kind of like this is actually my second one. I've a CPR instructor, and I've been a CPR instructor. This is actually my 20th year. So yes, it's hard, but if you're passionate about it, and even with that, you gotta have your finances organized and stuff like that, even in business. But I would say, if you want to start a business, because even with finances, you people need a side hustle, as they call it, or they need a second job, because that's just how it is, in today's society, and especially if you're in a lot of debt. If you want to get out of debt quicker than it normally would take you to get out of debt, you're gonna need a second source of income, or you're gonna have to sell some stuff, try and get rid of some stuff that you can make some income from. But yeah, you're going to have income coming in to help you get out of debt. That's you can't get away from that. Um, Especially if got more out there than you have coming in. Yeah, you will have to find a way to increase your income. But I would say, yeah, go ahead and start that business. I pray for you that it be successful. Remember, you want to get your um, LLC or S corp, C corp, whatever, however you want to do it. Um, Register whatever state you're in. You want to, get some money people around you to help you with, structuring your business correctly. That's definitely one of the things you definitely want to do if you want to start a business. Awesome. All right. Okay, it says, let's see, we're going to talk about ingraining mindsets from upbringing. Ooh, yeah. So basically, of how you were, brought up, how some of those influences, you know, influence the way we handle money today. Um, the chapter in highlights that if you're, okay, I said that one. The way money was managed or mismanaged during upbringing can deeply influence or an individual's mindset, impact how they approach challenges and decisions in all areas of their lives. Okay, so if your parents were stressed out all the time when it came to money, or was frivolous with money, or if they had a lot of money but was always buying stuff, and so you thought that, oh, that's what you did with money, not knowing that you had to manage that money and make sure that you're taking care of the what we call the four walls, transportation, housing, food, and utilities. So that's what you got to take care of first. You got to make sure you have something to eat, somewhere to sleep, something to drive in, and be able to see in your house. So you want to make sure that those are your essentials that you have to take care of. And so depending on if sorry, I hit I use my hands, hit the computer. Um, Usually, especially, growing up, especially if, they didn't make that amount, a lot of money, it was probably stressful, but they probably didn't say anything to you. What can you say about living paycheck to paycheck? Okay. Um, that's stressful. Living paycheck to paycheck is stressful. It's very stressful because that probably means that you don't have any extra. Okay, so you're either probably barely making it, or something is getting or being neglected. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you definitely need to change your mindset and sit down. You got to do that hard sit down, line up all your bills, see what got coming in. I mean, yeah, it's probably gonna hurt. you know, you're gonna probably like, gosh, but once you do it, see, that's the thing, we're afraid that, we're that fear of unknowns, but once you sit down and actually put it on paper, that's why it says in the Bible, write the vision, make it plain. So he that read it can run with it. So once you write it down and you see, sometimes it's not as bad as you think. Sometimes it is extremely as bad as you thought. But you face it. Go ahead and face it. And then once you see what you're up against, then now let's make a plan. Let's make a plan to get out of it. How was brainstorming with the partner when you started your business? How did you come up with the organization plan? Thanks in advance. I'm learning so much from this live. Well, I don't have a partner. I did mine all on my own. I had, some financial people that helped me, structure my business. But no, I didn't have a partner. But even, in that question, y'all have to be on the same page. Y'all have to be on the same page about everything. You can't keep anything secret. That's when stuff start going wrong. Okay, so you want to keep each other accountable. If you are going into a partnership with someone, even if it's not a business, even in a marriage, you can't go in blind. You don't want to go in blind. You don't want to go in not asking those hard questions. Really, like, what's your credit score? I mean, because that's gonna let you know what type of, how they handle their finances. How much debt do you owe? Do they know? I mean, people, they don't want to look at it because they think if they don't look at it, they don't have to worry about it. Uh, so those kind of things are, important to find out when you're going into a partnership, no matter what kind of partnership it is. Um, so that way y'all can be on the same page. And, like one person might be better than the other, which is okay. That is true. That is really okay. Um, but you both need to be in it. So the other person can't sit on the, sidelines and let the other one just do all the work. Um, but that's what it, like if I'm coaching a couple, and I usually try not to coach a person who's married, because I've seen, and I, know how that, can tear up a marriage. I know money tears up a marriage. And so if they're not willing to work with their spouse, or their spouse isn't willing to work, I'll give them some information, but I won't coach them until they can bring them on board. Line up all your bills. Thank you for the tip. It's hard and intimidating, but it's the most enlightening line for me. Awesome. Yes, you got to know what you're dealing with. Okay, you have to know what you are dealing with. Again, this book is only like 26 pages. Okay, it's real easy. It's real simple. I wanted it to be that way because I didn't, it's going to already be overwhelming to, start working on your finances. I didn't want you to have, an encyclopedia to try and read. So that's why I didn't want it to be long. I wanted to, to be relatable. Anybody can get in there and read it and be like, whoo, okay, now let's get to work. Okay, Miss Luckisha, what are the things that you need to consider so you can be financially stable? What are some of the things you need to consider? How much? What's your income? What is your debt ratio? Um, what are you willing to do to get to being financial stable? Those are the three things I would say, because if you are in a lot of debt, you're going to have to be willing to do whatever it takes. That means cut cable, gym, going to the hairdresser, all of that. And see, the thing about it is a lot of people, oh, but I like those things. I like to feel pretty. That makes me feel pretty. I understand, but it's not forever. That's what you have to, it's not forever. It's just, for a season, hopefully, um, you're doing whatever it takes to get to that stability to where now you can add those stuff back in. It's kind of, it just came to me. It's just kind of like when you having allergies and they tell you to take away everything, so that you can try and figure out what the allergen is, and they have you add it back in one at a time. And so that's what you're going to do. You're going to take, just go down to the bare minimum. And then once you get stable, because remember you need a emergency fund. The immediate emergency fund is $1,000. If there's two of you, I would say 15 to 2,000, because there's two, especially if you got two incomes coming in. And then you want to get to where your emergency fund is either 3, 6, or 12 months of your household expenses. And so that's going to take some doing, because see, I always tell people, some people, well, I got some savings, but you owe somebody. So really that money ain't yours. It's sitting in your bank, but it actually belongs to somebody else, because as long as you owe somebody, that money is not yours. Okay? So remember, you always want to be a lender and not a borrower. That's biblical. Okay, yeah, it's such an easy and digestible book that it makes it easy to read, but put it in time. Thank you for making it so and share your valuable insight. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, I wanted it to be simple, because like I said earlier, I mean, you can probably Google finances, financial wealth, and you'll come up with a whole slew, a list of books that you can get information from. But I wanted to go to a different route. I wanted to, make you think about, kind of like a counselor, how the counselor take you back to your childhood and find out those things that, happened in your childhood. That's kind of what I wanted you to do as far as your finances, because it does play a part, either positive or negative. It does play a part. And so when you realize that, because like for me, giving you a little bit of myself, I didn't grow up on a lot. We didn't have a lot of money. My mom died young. I was only 9 years old. And so I knew what poverty looked like. And so when I grew up, my goal was to never feel like that ever again. Um, and I didn't want my kids to ever experience that, in life. And so that was my motivator. And I didn't do everything right, of course. Didn't do everything right, but that was an influence, my influence of not being in poverty ever again. And so so then I had to figure out, because I didn't see it. I didn't see money being handled well and stuff like that. So you had to figure that out. I was married, so he was very good at finances. And we had a savings account. And so so I learned that what I did with my paycheck, I put it in my savings account, and then pull from that my expenses out. So that always, especially if I, wasn't overspending, I was already creating my savings account or my emergency fund, establishing from the get go. So it's just those kind of things that you have to look at. You might have did something wrong, maybe had to file for bankruptcy, or something like. You can bounce from that. There's a lot of people who have bounced back from bankruptcies. So don't feel hopeless. That is why I did this book. I keep hitting my my camera. That's why I wrote this book, to let you know that there is a way out. That the Lord said, He always makes a way of escape. So you just have to always pray. Ask God for wisdom. Okay. And then, that wisdom may come in the form of somebody that looks like me, who's a financial coach. But, he will send you that wisdom, and it's already in you. I'm just going to help you unlock it. All right. So the QR code is up there. I got like less than 40 seconds left. Remember, hit that QR code to order the book. Here it is. Your Wealth Lives Within. And then I made it as my background. I hope y'all like that. Comment on that for me and let me know what you think of me doing that. I did that on my own, y'all. I figured that out on my own, y'all. All right. Well, I won't be with you tomorrow, but I will be with you Wednesday. We have 2 more sessions on Wednesday. Like I said, we're going to walk through each chapter, and the next one will be your parents' mindset. All right. We will see you later.